Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining today. I wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, the Singh Dev Bhagavan, Gaunitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So today we wanted to make a start on the Bhagavad Gita, starting with chapter 1, of course. And chapter 1 is called Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. And text 1 is as follows. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So this very first verse is actually really important. This is Dhritarashtra, this is Sanjay. Sanjay had the blessing by Srila Vyasadeva that he could see what was happening hundreds of miles away. So he was explaining to the blind king what he was seeing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And this is why Dhritarashtra is asking him, what did he see in this holy place? So Dhritarashtra asked Sanjay for help because he was blind. But he knew Sanjay had access to knowledge through his guru, Srila Vyasadeva. So this is the summary of that verse and the lesson to learn from this, because what we want to do is after every summary, we'll have a little lesson. The king was aware that the battle was taking place in a holy place, and his sons were unholy. He was inherently aware, but he was so attached to his sons that he couldn't stop them from being sinful. So he was fearful. Being blind, both materially and spiritually, he sought the help of Sanjay to inform him about the battle. So, lesson to learn is that we are also blind, especially in terms of material and spiritual vision. And also we need help. So this is important to understand. Dhritarashtra understood he needed help. And we also need to understand that we need help. If we don't understand we need help, we don't ask for help, help will not come. So this is the first point, that we need to understand that we are in a vulnerable position, spiritually and materially, because this world is very temporary. So we seek help and guidance, very important. So let's read on. Now, I wanted to would anybody like to read? If you can maybe put your electronic hand up, if you like to read the next few verses. Any volunteers? Yes, Priyanjali.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let her Priyanjali.
Okay, if Riyan's reading, it's fine.
Priyanjali, go ahead.
Can read
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Shall I do it or someone else doing?
No, somebody else will. Let's these youngsters do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Priyanjali.
Prabhuji, I can't see the screen at the moment.
Oh, then you can't read. No problem. Kajal, would you like to read?
Yes, please. So, should I read text 1?
No, you can start from text 2.
Okay. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged... I can't really see the screen right now.
Okay, 1 second. You can ask your mother to help.
It's pitch black.
Ask your mother to help.
Military formation by the sons of Pandu. King Duryodhana went to I'll read when I can. And spoke the following words.
Yes, go ahead. Carry on.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple of the...
Kajal, I think you just become muted. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I read text 3.
Yes, good.
Shall I carry on?
Yes, carry on.
Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjun, great fighters like Yuyudhana, Vrita, and Draupa. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Dhratashketu,
Ketu.
Distretu, Chiktendana,
Ittana, yeah.
Drasraja, Purujit,
Yeah.
Gantipoja, and Salvaya. There
Saibya.
are
Good.
Saibya. There are the mighty Yaduhamanyu,
Yeah.
the very powerful Uttamaja, the son of Subhadra, and the host, and of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters.
Yeah, keep going.
But for your information, O best of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force.
Yeah.
There are personalities like you, Bhisma, Karna, Grappa, Asvastama, Vikarna,
Ashwatthama.
Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called
Vishwa.
Vishvava, who are always victorious in battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and are all experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by Grandfather Bhisma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhisma as you stand at your respective strategic points of the entrance into the flanks of the army.
Very good. How old are you?
I'm 13.
Very well read. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So
Thank
this
you.
is very good. So these 10 verses we can summarize. Duryodhan is busy counting his army, blinded by greed, envy, and material desire. So he was relaying that this is the strength of I've got some very powerful soldiers. One who is materially entangled in I, me, and mine becomes oblivious to the ill effects of one's actions and anxiety. Frustration and disappointment are inevitable. So these verses show how Duryodhan is blinded by having more material possessions. He wants to conquer the Pandavas and retain the kingdom that they have at the moment. And similarly, we also, if we are simply always engaged in improving our material condition of life, like by earning money and having more children and, having more houses, more cars, then we also are somewhat blind. And we may also fall into the same trap that Duryodhana is falling into. So the lesson to learn from lesson 2 from Bhagavad Gita, from our very birth, we are generally brought up in a culture of I and mine. Everything is for my enjoyment. Everything I own. I have to enjoy my senses. And always we have expectations from others. We expect so much from everybody else. We expect this from our children. We expect this from our parents, from our friends, from our teachers. When those expectations are not met, then that leads to frustration and anger. We have to somehow lower our expectations from others. When we have expectations, it means that we want something from somebody else. We may not get it, right? And generally, we don't get it. Say we want some love from somebody, but they're not forthcoming. They ignore us, or they speak badly to us, or whatever it may be. So at that time, we become very frustrated, perhaps angry. Now, to avoid that, we have to try to reduce our expectations from others. Okay, if somebody doesn't love us, it doesn't stop us from loving them. But we don't we want to reduce what we expect from others. Somebody comes to our home and they must show me respect. Or I go to somebody's house and they must show me respect. If we have that mood and that respect doesn't come, we'll be angry, frustrated, disappointed. So to avoid that, we reduce expectations from others. Instead of taking, we get in the mood of giving. And we're going to see that in a few minutes. So let's read the next section. So the next section is when the respective parties on both sides of the battle blow their conch shell. This is a tradition. When they blow their conch shell, it means they're ready to start. Just like before we do arti, we blow the conch shell. So we're ready to start arti. And before a war, they also blow the conch shell. So they're ready to start to fight. So, who else? Actually, can I call upon Rohit, Rohan? Would you like to read? Okay, you may not be able to. Priyanjali, this will be a little hard for you to read because there are some quite long words. Anybody, any youngsters would like to read? It need to be at least about 10 or 11 or 12 or 13, something like that. How about Sanvi? Would you like to read?
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I read text 12?
12 onwards, yes.
Okay. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of all of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhan joy. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous.
Good.
On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjun, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells.
Good.
Lord Krishna blew his conch shell, called Panchanya.
Janya.
Panchanya.
Good.
Panchajanya. Arjun blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhim, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell, called Pondira. King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Anantavijay, and Nakul and Sahadev blew the Sughos and Manipushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Sikhandi,
Dristadumnya.
Virat, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupad, the sons of Draupadi and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells.
Oops, yeah. This is the last one.
The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious,
vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
Right, well done. Good reading. How old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
Well done. Very competent reading. I liked it very much. Thank you. So lots of names in that section. And also we heard how they're all blowing the conches. And finally, when the conches were being blown, especially by the Pandavas and Krishna, it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra because they were so loud. Despite Duryodhana's boastful words, the ominous result of this confrontation is made clear from the outset because their hearts were shattered already. So, lesson number 3, being selfish ends in misery, right? As we've talked about, being selfish ends in misery. Praveen will take questions at the end because I'll just carry on. Compare Duryodhana and Yudhishthir. Now, Duryodhana was very selfish, but Yudhishthir was very selfless. And there's an example. One time, Dronacharya, the guru of Duryodhana and Yudhishthir, he tested them both. He said to Duryodhana, why don't you go into the city and find somebody who's better than you? And he said to Yudhishthir, why don't you go to the city and find somebody who's worse than you? So Duryodhana came back after going to the city. He came back and he said to Dronacharya, I couldn't find anybody better than me. Similarly, Yudhishthir came back and he said to his guru, Dronacharya, I couldn't find anybody worse than me. I'm the worst. See the mood. Duryodhana, I'm the greatest, nobody better than me. Yudhishthir, very humble. I'm the worst. There's nobody better, nobody worse than me. So this mood was very good for Yudhishthir. He had a mood of always giving praise, giving so many things. Taking will not result in happiness, but giving can bring great satisfaction. So what are we talking about? What are we going to give? We can learn to give with our thoughts. For example, approximately 80,000 thoughts go through our mind every day, right? Every day, 80,000 thoughts. Sometimes random, sometimes they're purposeful. The intelligence is guiding thoughts. But a lot of thoughts go through our mind, and most of them are negative. Somebody said something to us today or yesterday or last week, and our mind keeps replaying that in a very negative way. So we have to watch this mind of ours. And every time a negative thought comes in, we stop that negative thought, we turn it into a positive thought. Just watch the mind. And you will see this. It is universal. Everybody goes through this. Negative thoughts come into our mind, but we change them into positive thoughts. Negative thoughts will make us become weak in many different ways, whereas positive thoughts gives life. So we are very careful with our thoughts. We try to always remain positive in any situation, even if a situation seems very hard, very challenging, we still remain positive. This positivity has such a big impact. And especially, we remain positive about others. We give with our thoughts. We give love with our thoughts. We think positively of others. This is how we give. And that's really powerful. It's probably the most powerful thing that we can do, is become very positive in our outlook. positive of ourselves, positive of others, not positive of ourselves in a very, false way. No, but positive that we will not succumb to negativity. How else can we give? We can give our words, kind words, show our appreciation for others and be grateful. We have so much to be grateful so much to be grateful for. Grateful to our parents for looking after us, bringing us into this world, caring for us, loving us. We have to be grateful to our teachers, to our elders, to our children, to everybody around us, because due to everybody around us, we are able to live in a comfortable way. Okay, so we can offer our thanks on a very, very regular basis. Thank you, my dear father. Thank you, my dear mother, etc., etc., etc. So words, kind words, very important. Even in a situation which may be very delicate, we're careful with our words. Our actions, how can we give with our actions? We can help others by our deeds. According to our capacity, we can help others, those who are in need. If you see somebody who is wanting food, so they're begging for food or begging, give them some fruit. We give them according to our capacity. Actions, by our actions, we help others. When we see somebody is in need of help, we offer our help according to our capacity. What can we do for them? Our possessions as well, according to our capacity, we can assist others. We may be very well to do, and instead of hoarding our possessions, we give our possessions. Very positive. So that's another section. So what we are doing is basically we are applying themes to the chapter, and we're taking it step by step. So now from verses 20 onwards, we are going to look at another aspect of the Bhagavad Gita, another theme of the Gita. And this theme involves Arjun for the first time. He is requesting Krishna, his chariot driver. This is another fascinating thing about Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has become the chariot driver of Arjun. The master has become the servant of his servant. This is God. This is the Supreme Lord. He's very humble. He's very sweet. So in this part of the Bhagavad Gita now, we'll see Arjun is requesting Krishna to do something. So I saw Rohan. Rohan, are you able to unmute?
Hare Krishna.
Okay, good. So go for it. You can read from text 20.
At that time, Arjuna, the son of Bandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Let me see those. Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata.
No, you're right. Text 23. Yeah. You missed out text 23.
Oh, okay. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all of the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, "Just behold, Bharat, all the Kurus assembled here." These Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law, and well-wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
Wonderful, thank you. So that's another section of the first chapter. So let's take a little break there and we do a quick summary of what just happened. Arjun wants to take a final look at the armies. He orders Krishna, his transcendental charioteer, to drive to the middle of the battlefield so he can assess the situation. Now, what does Krishna do? Krishna is amazing. He takes Arjun in front of his greatest challenge, and that is Bhishma, the grandfather. The grandfather was Arjun's most beloved relative. He loved his grandfather. And what happened was, instead of Krishna taking him somewhere else, perhaps in front of Duryodhana, who, there was a lot of enmity between them, he took him to Bhishma, who is not just the most affectionate person towards Arjun. They had so much affection and love for each other, but he's also the strongest person on the battlefield, Bhishma. So despite the intense, now what's the lesson to learn from this, right? The lesson to learn is, look, Arjun, it was a really intense time, right? It was a battle about to take place. But what did Arjun do? Despite the intensity of the situation, Arjun takes time to reflect. Life may be crammed with responsibilities and pressing issues, but the usual excuse of no time should not impede our soul searching or any spiritual activity. So this is a very, very important lesson. A lot of people will say, I don't have time. Right? We approach them perhaps to give them a spiritual book, but they say, no, I don't have time. And maybe that's right, they don't have time. And maybe we are in a situation where we're very, very, very busy. But look at the situation that Arjun is in. He's about to be tested in the greatest test of his life, right? A battle which is unprecedented, millions of soldiers on both sides, and perhaps the greatest warriors in the world assembled at that time together to fight. But what does he do? He says to Krishna, I want to see actually who's come to fight. Please take my chariot in the middle of the battlefield. I'd like to see who's there. So we also may be very, very busy, but we always must take the time to stop and reassess, where are we? Am I heading in the right direction? Especially from the spiritual point of view. Yes, from the material point of view as well. Am I doing the right thing by taking this career up or doing this work now compared to another bit of work? But always take the time to stop and reassess, both materially and, more importantly, spiritually. Am I heading in the right direction by my behavior at the moment, the way I'm living my life? Is it taking me in the right direction towards the Supreme Lord? If it's not, we reassess. We rethink what we're doing. So this is a very, very important lesson. Don't get fooled into this notion of, I'm busy, I haven't got time to do. I haven't got time to reassess. Always keep reassessing. In fact, at the end of every day, if you can spend a few minutes just thinking about that day, what did I achieve in this day? How was I able to get closer to God? Was I able to achieve my long-term or medium-term plan? It's worth just spending that time. Just reassess. Okay, so now we're, I think, into the last section of the Bhagavad, of the first chapter. And who would like to read? Vanisha, would you like to read?
Yes,
How old are you, Vanisha?
12.
Perfect. So it's from text number 28.
Arjun said, My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. Text 29. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Kasi demon.
Yes, so you can continue reading, but here Arjun is revealing his mind to Krishna. Wow, I can see Bhishma, I can see my relatives, my friends, and I am now having doubts. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, it stops there. Actually, Manisha, you can carry on after that because there was only a few verses. But let me just do a summary of these verses now. For 3 verses. Foreseeing the imminent suffering and death that is inevitable consequence of war, Arjun begins to analyze his predicament. At this stage, bereft of broader spiritual vision, he becomes bewildered. So the lesson from this one is that Krishna will bring us to face our unwanted challenges according to our ability. But we should not be shaken by these challenges. If you remember, we talked about in the first session, the more we sweat in peace, the less we bleed in war. When we practice bhakti, when the situation is calm and good, then we will be able to face the challenging situations when they come. Sometimes people think, I'll approach God, he will solve all my problems. I won't have any problems. I'll just tell God to sort out I know what my problem is. God, you do this, sort it out. This is, we demand from God. But when we approach God, he may not do that. He may take us right in front of our biggest challenge, right? Like he did Arjun. Arjun asked him, take me into the middle of the battlefield. And where did Krishna take him? In front of his greatest challenge, Bhishma, his grandfather. So this may well happen. But the beauty of the Lord is that he's with us. He's there to face those challenges. He's there with us to face those challenges. He will help us face those challenges. We should not be shaken by these challenges. And especially if we train ourselves from a young age by remembering, by practicing bhakti, practicing devotion to God, then we will be able to easily face these challenges thanks to the Lord. So this is a really very, very important lesson to learn. Okay, Vanisha, please carry on. I really like the way you read.
I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-laws, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted pregnancy. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of the Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Sanjay said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Manisha. Very well read. So Arjun now is giving reasons why he doesn't want to fight. And very compelling reasons, actually. What are we going to achieve by killing these aggressors? And, we'll end up destroying the family traditions. When that happens, religion becomes prominent. Especially the women get polluted because the crazy men are out there. And from that, unwanted progeny comes. Unwanted population results in hellish life for everybody. Family traditions are destroyed, so nobody offers pindan to the relatives who have gone. And so many community projects are destroyed, family welfare activities are devastated. And these people go to hell. So why would I want to get involved with that? Arjun is saying. Really compelling arguments. Better that I die and give the kingdom to the Duryodhana. And then he said, I won't fight. So this is the end of this chapter. It contains 46 verses. And there's about four or five themes to it. So this time, Arjun justifies his decision to retreat from fighting on the basis that compassion, it would be cruel and heartless to prematurely terminate the lives of so many soldiers. The second point was enjoyment. Even an unrivaled kingdom would bring no happiness since he'd be bereft of the company of his near and dear ones. Sin, third point, one would surely accrue bad karma as a result of such brutal violence. And fourth, this is destruction of the family. Wholesale killing involved would destroy the family union's social structure, causing havoc for future generations. So, lesson to take from this. We want to go into the points that Arjun is making, because that Krishna will address over the rest of the Gita. But what I wanted to bring up here, the lesson to learn, is that we also can come up with a lot of excuses not to do bhakti. If we don't want to do bhakti, the Lord will give us a lot of reasons not to do bhakti. So what are these reasons? Oh, I'm too young. Or maybe the parents will say, he's too young to do bhakti or tapasya. Tapasya is austerity. Bhakti can mean tapasya, but actually in this age of Kali Yuga, it's not. Doing bhakti is actually very pleasurable, very enjoyable because you're connecting with God. But people often think, oh, if I go to the temple, I'm too young to go to the temple. Let me enjoy myself first. Yeah, let me enjoy my senses. That's another reason, right? So don't disturb me, please. I'm watching the television and I'm enjoying. I don't want to go to the temple, or I don't want to read about spiritual life, or I don't want to hear a discourse on Bhagavad Gita. Let me enjoy myself. So that's another reason, an excuse that we come up with. We may be worshipping in a certain way, and we don't want to stop that worship in that way. We might be thinking it's a sin to stop worshiping in that way. Sometimes our family traditions are there, which we follow, but those family traditions perhaps have become a little bit misguided in the past. And perhaps we may not be worshipping in perhaps a way that we should be worshipping due to ignorance. And we're thinking, no, I can't stop the way I'm doing it because it will be a sin. So that's a limiting factor, not trying to improve oneself through knowledge, through the scriptures, through guidance. And many people, their families may not believe in God even. So God consciousness may not be in the family tradition. So are we destroying the family tradition by believing in God, for example? And also no time, as we'd also discussed. I don't have time to do any bhakti. We will do bhakti when we're old. This is one thing that often comes across. We have to be very careful of our excuses, as they may hamper our progress in Krishna or God consciousness. Don't come up with excuses. When you have an opportunity to do some seva, some activity in connection with God, in connection with God's devotees, this is extremely powerful way to connect with God. Bhakti is one of the fastest routes to become God conscious. And we have to be very careful of any excuses. We will make excuses. We may think, oh, bhakti is boring, or, I've got something more interesting to do. But actually, I can guarantee you this. We've been doing this Krishna consciousness we've been practicing it for good 40 odd years, perhaps more. And I can tell you, every single day is a joy, is fun, is exciting, it's interesting. I've never been in a situation where I've been bored. The reason is, God is not boring. He's not an old man sitting in heaven with a beard and throwing thunderbolts at us. No, he's dynamic. He's eternally youthful. And he's not boring. He doesn't want us to be boring either. So we have to be careful with our excuses. If you have an opportunity to go to the temple, to read the Bhagavad Gita, to chant the holy names of the Lord, do it with enthusiasm. And you will see the difference. You will the excuses will not, in fact, you'll find excuses to do bhakti. And that's very positive. All right, I wanted to stop there to give an opportunity for questions. Actually, let me do a quick overall summary. We have a certain picture of success usually based on our friends, family, society, and the media opinion or influence. And we shape our lives in a determined pursuance of it. So this is a summary. Like, this is what Duryodhana was, he had in his mind this fantastic, that's going to be Radhika. She's going to need a hand. Maybe Path can give her a hand. However, at some point, we may begin to doubt whether that perfect life is achievable. and will actually make us happy, and question the materialistic goals and aspirations and milestones of success that have become deeply ingrained within us, practically from birth. Sorry, just 1 second. Could there be some deeper purpose to life? While this initial thought can often bring great uncertainty and confusion, it can also bring us to the start of our spiritual journey. It is this very doubt that Arjuna expressed at the onset of this sacred conversation. But if you noticed, Krishna didn't say a word. In this whole chapter, he hasn't said a word. He was silent because Arjuna was not looking for answers from him at this stage. Similarly, we think we know what we want in order to become happy, and we simply want the Lord to fulfill our desires. And so often people say, oh, I never hear God. You know, he doesn't talk to me. No, because we're talking to him. We're not giving him a chance to talk to us. We think we know what the solutions are. So we don't give the Lord an opportunity to speak to us. So that's the end of chapter 1. Okay, any questions? Please, you can raise your hands and or unmute and ask. It's a really important chapter, probably the most important. Yes, Priyanjali.
I've got 6 or 7 questions.
My goodness, go for it.
If somebody trying to be positive and they can't, is it their fault or not?
Yes, good question. If you're trying to be positive, but you can't, we can only try, Priyanjali. We keep trying to be positive. When we see a negative thought coming, we immediately stop it and we think of something positive. So it isn't anybody's fault. Yeah, it's not anybody's fault, but we keep trying. We keep trying. It doesn't mean that if you only got negative, it doesn't mean that you are at fault or you are weak. No, but we keep trying.
Okay, Prabhuji. And my second question is, if somebody's trying to lower down their expectations and they can't, is it their fault?
Wow, amazing question. I would say in that case, yes, that we need to be understanding that we can't always just expect from others. You know, it's because that will always make us unhappy. Our expectations are very high. You know, I want that Game Boy. I want that toy. I want that chocolate. And, you know, mom and dad might say, look, hang on, you've had enough, you know? No, we can't do that anymore. So instead, you're reducing what you need from them. And you're perhaps going to say to yourself, actually, I don't need that. I don't need to give my mom and dad so much difficulty. No, I can be a little bit more peaceful. I don't need that chocolate. I don't need that toy. It's not that you don't have anything. No. But you just reduce your expectations because you know you don't actually need it. But whose fault is that? Again, you could say there's nobody's fault. It's just the way we've been brought up in this world, you know, through television and, you know, so many influences come. Our friends have this, so we think, oh, I should have that, you know. So it's not really anybody's fault. It's just the way life is, you know. Yeah.
And my third question is, the grandfather Bhishma, if he knew that Duryodhana wouldn't fight Arjuna if he wouldn't be on his side, then why did he choose the wrong side?
Amazing, Priyanjali. You are such a sweet child. Very nice question. And it's a very deep question. Why did Bhishma grandfather fight, who's so righteous, is such a great personality, even a great devotee of God, fight for the wrong side? Well, there were many, many reasons. He had taken a vow to protect the kingdom, to protect whoever was sitting on the kingdom. And he never deviated from that vow. So that's a good thing. But actually, it's also not a good thing, because when a young child is in trouble, when somebody who's vulnerable, a woman or a man, is in trouble, and we don't do something, even if it goes against everything that we have vowed, then we have a problem. We must, if somebody needs our help, we must, even if it breaks our own conviction, must help that person. So, 1 second. So why was Bhishma? Because he was very fixed in his vow. He wanted to keep his vow. He was very proud to keep his vow. And again, pride is not a good thing. I actually love Bhishma as well. And I love what he stands for, how he behaves. Can you keep that door closed? Okay. So in that way, he's right to follow his vow, keep strong. However, he was wrong in the sense that he should have protected Draupadi. He should have stopped Duryodhan from committing so many atrocities, because because he should have broken his vow. However, having said all of that, if Bhishma didn't do what he did, then there would have been no Mahabharata. There would have been no discussion between Arjuna and Krishna. And this discussion between Arjuna and Krishna, this Bhagavad Gita, is the most important thing that's happened for us in our lives, because it helps us get closer to Krishna. So there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. So that's why Bhishma fought for the wrong side. He actually fought for the wrong side for us, so that this Gita could be spoken. What's your next question?
My next question is, why did Bhishma choose to die when he had his choice when to die?
Yeah, he picked a moment when the sun was in the right place, but not just that. He picked a moment when Krishna was right in front of him. He passed away looking at Krishna. Yes.
But if he had the choice to die, and Amba had vowed to kill, the reason to kill him, would he still die even though she had vowed to kill him?
No, he would have stayed. He could choose his point of death. He was not defeatable. But she had made a vow. So he also fulfilled her vow, because he didn't want to live, especially towards when the battle took place. He was very saddened. He didn't want to fight Arjun. Arjun was his favorite grandchild. He didn't want to fight Arjun.
Died.
Sorry?
Is that why he died?
Yeah, partly. That's why he left. But the main reason he left was because Krishna was in front of him. He wanted to see Krishna at the time of his death.
And why does God not help us when his devotees approach him? Does he not love his devotees?
He only lives for his devotees. He only lives for his devotees. He's always helping his devotees. He only helps his devotees. Sometimes we may think, oh, God is not helping me. But actually, he's always helping us. Even when we're in a difficult situation, he's making us stronger. We might think he's not helping us, but actually, he's always helping. And he says that in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. We'll see that later as we're going along. He says to Arjun, declare it boldly, my devotee will never perish. He tells that to Arjun. later on in the Gita. We will see that.
And why did Arjuna even think to kill his family, and why was his mind nagging him not to fight and be bad and not listen to God, Krishna?
Say that first part of your question again.
So, and why did Arjuna even think to kill his family?
Okay. Actually, and that's the point he's come to. He's come to that point. What am I doing in this battle? I'm about to kill my cousins and my grandfather. Why am I here? That's what he's thinking. Okay. And now we'll see how Krishna is going to explain to him why he has to fight in this battle. And the principal reason he has to fight is because he's like a policeman. If a policeman sees a robbery taking place, but he doesn't do anything, then that policeman is not doing his job. And that is not a good thing. So essentially, and we'll see how Krishna explains this to him in the next few chapters. He will explain to Arjun that you have to do your duty. And no matter in what situation, you have to do your duty. And then he explains in bigger ways. Well done.
And then why was his mind nagging him not to fight?
Because he saw his family and he became disorientated. He became a little confused. But also, we have to understand, Arjun actually is a great devotee of Krishna. And the reason he got confused was for us. Otherwise, again, Gita would not have been spoken if it wasn't for us.
And my last and seventh question is, why was Duryodhana always greedy from his birth?
Why was he greedy? Partly because his father had ambitions. His father was blind, but he couldn't have the kingdom. So the father wanted the son to inherit the kingdom. So the father was partly responsible for these ambitious moves.
That means he wasn't greedy from his birth.
No, he also had that tendency. Correct. He had his, but children can also generally be in that mood unless they have proper training from the beginning. So very good questions, Priyanjali. I'm really impressed. I can see you give your mum a hard time, huh?
Yeah. I was actually about to ask her these questions, but it's because that once I was watching Mahabharata and I had some questions about it, because when one of the scenes was like Duryodhana was saying, why are they here? That's not their kingdom. They have to be thrown out of the kingdom. They have to be thrown out of the palace.
Very good. Thank you so much, Priyanjali. Yes, Rohan.
And that's how I got more.
I was just wondering, surely there has to be a balance between sort of karma and bhakti. So at what point does karma become more important than bhakti? Because I know obviously bhakti must be important, but where's the balance?
So the beauty of bhakti is that you can turn your karma into bhakti. For example, we all eat, right? We all eat. We all have to eat. But if we just eat ordinary food, that's karma, right? And that is going to be then classified as karma in the mode of goodness, ignorance, or passion. However, by a simple act, we can turn that karmic activity into bhakti. And the simple act is, whatever we cook, we offer it to God and make it into prasad. Now that simple act has turned that karmic activity into bhakti, a bhakti activity. So yes, karma Yes, we have to act. We have to go to work. But if we are thinking, I am working, if we're thinking I am doing the work and I'm going to enjoy the fruits of that work, that's a simply karma, and then that's going to be classified as ignorance, passion, or goodness. But if we're thinking, okay, I'm working, but I'm working in order to please the Lord. I want to help progress Sanatana Dharma, and I am going to work in order to facilitate that ambition, to assist the Sanatana Dharma in whatever way I can. You're turning that karma, that karmic activity, into a bhakti activity effectively, because you have, what have you done? That karma, you've put the karmic activity, you put the Lord in the center. Simply by putting the Lord in the center of the activity, you're converting it from karma to bhakti. Now, if we have that focus from the beginning of our life, a little bit like what you have, then every single one of your acts is going to be in bhakti, you know? Does that
Yeah,
make
okay.
sense?
Yeah, thank you. Also, just going back to the point about Duryodhan being selfish, when it also, I think it also, his uncle Shakuni had a big influence on him.
He did.
And also, I'm not blaming Gandhari, his mother, but the fact that she was blindfolded and so devoted to her husband, she sort of neglected Duryodhan.
Yes, these are all valid points. Shakuni definitely drove the ambitions of Duryodhana in such a strong, and Dhritarashtra at the same time. Gandharvi was a different character, an extraordinary personality, actually, because yes, I hear what you're saying, but what she did was she gave up a huge aspect of her life because she didn't want to be in a superior position to her husband. And that takes great courage. That takes great humility. So what she did, she sacrificed her sight. And yes, because she was married to the Dhritarashtra, so some of the ambitions of the Dhritarashtra would have rubbed off on Gandhari. But if you see critical moments of the Mahabharata, you will see Gandhari is actually advising Dhritarashtra and her brother Shakuni very deeply and in such a very forceful way that no, like when Draupadi was insulted, she was the one who said to Dhritarashtra, you are dead, you are finished, the kingdom is finished, everything is finished. You beg for forgiveness now from Draupadi. And he did. He had to, because he understood she's right. So actually, Gandharvi was quite a forceful. And one of the things about her is her interaction with Krishna is incredible. When Krishna, at the end of the battlefield, went to Gandharvi, she cursed him. Just like my family has died, yours is going to die. And what did Krishna do? Tathastu. I respect your wish. I will accept your curse. What a relationship. So she also had actually love for Krishna, but in that moment of anger, she blurted out this curse, and then she regretted it. Oh, what have I done? So in terms of her training of Duryodhana, yeah, I mean, the father had a big influence. The uncle was a big influence. She actually tried to put her son on the righteous path in many ways, many different instructions she gave him. But the combination of the father, the uncle, and he himself being ambitious destroyed any good, usually any good instruction given by mother. Usually you will find the mother in the family is a very sane, giving really good advice, generally speaking. Even to this day, you will see the same. So Gandharvi was actually a great personality in the Mahabharata.
Thank you.
Is that okay? Thank you for asking. Thank you. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Thank you. We have anybody else would like to ask a question? Yes, Pravin.
I said it's a good idea when youngsters ask. Very nice.
Yeah.
You know, say, I mean, we know everything about it, but still, we can't say I know everything about it. You said something about 80,000 thoughts going in the mind. Is that right?
Yeah, approximately. That's how many.
Is it like in the minute or is all
No,
day?
throughout the day. Throughout the day.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. Generally, I don't know the number, but I would say probably 95% are generally going to be negative thoughts. And
Which
generally
we don't want it, but it is coming.
it comes. And it's not just us. Even the sages have the same issue, but they are like the ocean. When the river goes into the ocean is very still. But when bad thoughts come into us, we struggle.
Struggle.
Hmm.
Right, that's okay. The second thing was you said, I mean, I was pleased to hear about Gandhari. Just now, the other devotees asked the question. I mean, Gandhari could have given good advice to Duryodhan to be a good person. But she was good herself, but she couldn't make the son good. Is that what you were saying earlier? That
Yeah. She was a very highly cultured personality.
come from a good family.
Yeah, well, you could say that. Her father was, Shakuni's father was actually quite a devious personality, wasn't he? Shakuni's father. Oh, was his? Yeah, sorry. No, that's right. Shakuni's father was good. It was Shakuni himself was quite he was a very devious person. That's right.
And the Gandhari was good.
Yeah.
But Sakuni was not good, and he and the Dhritarashtra and the Duryodhan, they all three went wrong and
Correct.
made more big Mahabharat. And you said something about Bhisma earlier. The young girl asked about Bhisma, that why Bhisma took all these vows not to get married. So that was very good. Anyway, thank you very much. And one more thing, you said something about there are some families, they don't believe in doing bhakti.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you can't force them.
No, nobody can force anybody to do it. If you force somebody to do bhakti, then that's not bhakti anyway.
And you can't make them believe it.
No, it's got to come from inside, but we can guide. We can, by our behavior, by our actions, we can help. We can help anybody, to be honest.
There are families, they don't believe in giving dan also.
Yeah,
they
of course.
Said no, like giving dan to Brahmins. They said no, we don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So, but then the way you are telling, we can't force.
No.
Anyway, thank you very much. And thank you for today's class. It was very interesting. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Priyanjali?
I just have one last question.
Sure.
It's that if Gandhari knew that his brother played dice games and he was really bad, then why did she not stop him? And if she didn't stop him, then why did she not stop him?
So, have you got a brother?
Yeah, 2 brothers.
Can you stop them from doing anything?
Sometimes.
But not always. She did try. She would have a real go at Shakuni. But Shakuni would have to listen to her sometimes. But Shakuni, he was just a very devious person, you know. He was,
But
yeah.
did Shakuni be nice to Gandhari, or did Shakuni
Yeah, he was
be
nice to,
really...
yes. See, he was really hurt when the marriage took place between Dhritarashtra and Gandharvi. Shakuni was really hurt. He was thinking, why is my sister being married to a blind man? And he was really hurt because he loved his sister. I really loved his sister. So he was thinking, this is an injustice, and especially when Gandharvi wore the blindfold, he was devastated. And so he went with Gandharvi to Hastinapur, vowing that I will take care of you, my sister. And so he naturally was a crazy person, but he was even crazier now because he wanted justice for his sister. And so he did really crazy things.
What type of crazy things?
Oh, he cheated and he tried to get Pandavas killed many times. He would
He cheated in dice games.
Dice game, he would cheat in those. Yeah. He was an expert dice player. Very good. Thank you. If there's no other questions, we can stop there, and we're on to chapter 2 tomorrow. Thank you to everybody for participating, and looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Now. Oh, did I not record this? I did. Yeah, I did. Stop that.
Doing prayers.